And welcome as I plan the month of June in my Laurel Denise planner stack. My name is Allison and I love planning routines and systems, particularly ones that make things simple. If that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you hit subscribe. Lately, I've been using multiple planners to plan out different aspects of my life. And so today we are going to do my planning and decorating in each of those three. The three that I currently use are the Small Scout, which I use for financial planning and also for health tracking. For my everyday planning, I'm going to try this new Luna layout that I just got in the mail, and I'm so excited to try that out and see how it works. And then for my goal planning, I've been using the Rose Planner along with the goal planning inserts. All right, let's get started with my Small Scout that I've been using as a financial planner. And what I do is I write all of my bills and everything here in the monthly, and then under the daily, I will list out all of our charges on our debit cards or credit cards, whatever, so that I can kind of keep track of what we are spending. And so far, it's been working out pretty well for that. I have to say, it's nice to see each day what I'm spending my money on. I don't have in particularly like a Small Scout sticker set, so I've been using some other ones to just try and make it work. Looks like I didn't cut that one very straight, but that's how life goes, isn't it? These stickers are actually last year's banner sticker set, and I think they were sized for the Nancy and the Anne, but I cut the main banner sticker in half, and it seems to work okay for that, just right there. It's a little bit long, but we'll just trim it off like so. And then I'm going to put in the corner here this little decoration. Here we go. Let's see, actually, how do I want to layer that? Well, looks like I'm going to layer it right there. Sometimes it's hard to decide how exactly that I want the different things to come out, but I will tell you a little hack is that the Rose banner stickers, the month or the weekly layout stickers with just the days of the week, they fit this Small Scout almost perfectly. You just have to trim it in the half. And so it's a good way if you have other banner sets to kind of use up some of the stickers that you have. I was so excited to get to do this planning today because it was like my treat for making it to the last day of school, which was this last Friday. So now I have a little break of about a week, and then I will be doing summer school, which is only 14 days, and then I will be off for the summer. Now, let's see, that's getting a little bit off there. So let's try and make that a little more centered. There we go. These stickers stick very well, but if you haven't pressed it down, you can reposition them a little bit. But once you start pressing, it's pretty much good luck. So, but I did read a trick the other day that somebody said if you put like a hair dryer on low heat, that might be able to kind of get some of that up, but I have not yet tried that trick. So let me think here. We need to date the days of the month. I already went and used the undated or the stickers for undated calendars and it put the days down here. I didn't put the day of the week since it's easy to just look there, and it's so much faster to just put the date. Okay, now I have it all dated, and I'll just add a little label of the month here. And then I like to divide my Friday and my Saturdays, but I'm thinking I would like to try this new washi tape that I got with the new release that came out this last week. And I think that'll look just nice right there. Sometimes it's hard to line up that little top part. Or keep it going straight, especially when I'm trying to talk. I'm not very good at talking and doing at the same time. Okay, there. How I do my financial planning is I go through, and I know that Trevor gets paid every Friday, so I'll put that in there. And then I get paid on the 20th, so mine will also be on this day, and I'll fill in the amount because his paychecks are different each time. And so I'll fill in the amount there. And then when we have bills that come out, I will put them up there. But there's not really a lot of planning to do. This is kind of more at the end of the day as I look back. Now let's do I've been using it for 2 different types of trackers, both in the same planner. So I'm doing 2 months of June in this same little planner. And this one I'm using for my health tracker, which to do that, I print out these little sheets, and they have all the different things that I'm keeping track of on it, so I don't have to keep rewriting it. And then I just glue them in. I use this little glue tape, or you could use a glue stick, whatever works best for you. And just roll some of that on there. Get a little through the middle. And then line it up like so. And put that in. That way I don't have to rewrite every single day all the different things. I just made this on Canva by measuring out the box sizes, like these little boxes, and then adding lots of little icons. So you could do the same thing too for whatever you're tracking. And then let's just line that up there. Okay, just like that. And then let's put in those little headers again for the days of the week. Except this time I'm going to use the Monday or the Sunday start, but we can just cut off the Sunday and set it to the side for a minute and make it a Monday start to kind of use up as much of the stickers because they're so good. But if you have a little sticker problem like me, then you know that stickers can get really expensive fast. So I do try and use as much as possible from every single pack. And then let's here, line those up like that. There we go. And then that little Sunday that we cut off here, we'll just tag it on at the end. If we get it straight, it looks much better. There we go. And trim. Okay. And then I think at the top, I'm going to use this one that's going to match my other planners. I like to do all of mine in kind of the same color scheme each month. Just the coordination, I don't know, the color coordination makes me happy. I know other people, they want to use as many different stickers and sticker types as possible. And so they use lots of different ones, but everybody does their own thing. And that's part of what makes it So fun. Okay. This one's a little trickier going from the other direction, but because I used the one that had the cutout box in it, I didn't want to get that part in this header. So, okay. I'll use a little bit of this other sticker from the other banner set right here. That's not going to match up very well. Well, we'll do this, and then I could fill in that little square there to kind of maybe like that. Oh yeah, that's fun, because I usually don't write very much here. Okay. There we go. And then I just need to date all of these. All right, now I have it all dated, and I don't think I'll be able to fit washi here because it's going to come too close. So I'll just use my little ruler here and mark the divider line with just a little marker. Oh goodness. Oops, if you actually go straight. That's okay. All right. What I do on the daily parts is if I am tracking symptoms, I'll put different symptoms that I have. Sometimes I go back and forth between tracking macros. If I am doing that, then I'll write those in here. And then I also track my blood sugars. And so I mark those here. You can see on this month that I am currently in how I sometimes do macros, sometimes I don't, but I try and write any symptoms and my blood sugars, and then you can see what it starts to look like filled in where I keep track of all the different things. So this one, there's not actual planning to do ahead of time. I don't try and fill in the macros and stuff here too far in advance because I don't know if I'm going to do it that day, and I want to have more flexibility. But that is how I decorate my small scout, and it's all ready to go for both my health planning and my financial planning. Next up, we have the Joe, which is the pop-up planner, and I use this on the kitchen table as the family command center. So a lot of times doesn't get enough love, but I really am going to try and do a little something with her this month so that it's not just so plain and boring sitting there in the kitchen, and make it match everything else a little bit. That's pretty good. I actually have a few extra from this sticker pack. I have a few extra of these little washi, or I don't know if they're really washies, but little banners. So I think I might just even add those up here for the week to give it a little pizzazz. But I'm going to first make sure that I mark off the weekends, especially since this was the one the kids use, and they are used to that traditional Sunday start calendar. So I really have to make sure that I make it clear which ones are the weekends. But they've started adjusting to it pretty well. I haven't gotten too mixed up yet, so that's always a bonus. And then the biggest thing was we changed when their chore responsibilities are to the weekend or to the Monday start as well, instead of switching over on Sunday. And that did take a little while for them to get used to the new week starting on a Monday. But now that they're used to it, it's not a problem. But on the back of the Joe here where there's the empty space, and when you flip it over, I use that area to chart write down all of their chores. I have it on Post-its, and then I just rewrite their names, and the Post-its stay. So then each week they can see who's supposed to be doing what. Oh, and that turned out to be just the perfect amount because that's the short week. Awesome. Always makes me happy when things go well like that. Come on, sticker. Okay. And we need one more little something for this last week here. I have, this will work, a little leftover green from last time. You never know when those little bits will come in handy. As far as planning in the Joe, one of the big things that I do is I do our meal plan written on it. And I always divide off the last 2 lines there, and then I'll put kids' activities above the line, and then just the meals down here. So then no more asking, what's for dinner? What are we having again? Can say, just go look at the calendar. Okay, they really still ask, but theoretically, they should just be able to look at the calendar. It's also nice for me, though, to see it when I don't have my planner out and we're just in the kitchen getting ready for the day, to look at it, or the night before I go up to make sure I don't need to get any meat out or things like that. And then I will start filling in any of our dates from my digital calendar. I do keep a digital calendar because there are 5 of us in the family and everybody's doing different things. And so it really does help to have those calendars that you can sync with other people and they can see what's going on quickly or make changes to it. But there's still something about doing a paper planner that just makes my brain work so much better and helps me focus and remember. Plus, it's fun for me and it's creative and joyful. All right, so these 2 weeks we have summer school going on, which my 2 oldest are doing some things and I'm working it. So we needed to know about that. And I am writing it in non-erasable for that because we don't have a choice. That's not changing. And then the other thing that's not changing is we're doing Vacation Bible School. I'm teaching the music class for that this year. And so that is this week. We have it going on. Okay. That is all I want to put in permanent ink. I am much more a user of the erasable friction pens. This one's been my favorite for right now. So we have coming up on the 4th, Zachary has a baseball game. And that's at 6. We have a birthday party here. We, of course, have church on Sunday. And then there's another game. Another one. This is his first year of doing it, and he is enjoying it. And I'm glad it's just a short season. It's not forever long. And then there's another one here. And we have church on Thursday nights and Sunday. And the parents' anniversaries. Now, the funny thing is, even though I wrote Grandma and Grandpa, it's actually both sets of parents. Both Trevor and Mai's parents share an anniversary. So that's a fun little easy one to put into the calendar. And we have that vacation Bible school and then church on this day. And we are doing the family worship here. And I'll put that down here since it's not typical. Usually in the monthly calendar, I put things that are different than, like I don't put church every Sunday because we have that every Sunday, but I will put it up here in the week so they kind of know how busy it is. And that is the main plans for that. This is the rows that I use for my goal planner, and I have found that it's working very well, and I enjoy using it a lot. I have been sticking with it, and I have also been sticking with this calendar page, which I use as a mini journal. So just writing a sentence or two about the day every day. And sometimes I have to go back in and backfill it a little bit, but for the most part, I have been sticking with it very well. So proud of myself for doing that, because journaling is an area that I really struggle with, but have wanted to do a little something with it. And let's see if we can't get that lined up just right there. Perfect. Okay, let me get it redated. Okay, now I have the dates stickered, and I'm going to go ahead and put down the divider line between the weekends and the rest of the month. If I can get it started straight there. There we go. I also will choose a pen color that I write all of my little journal entries in for the whole entire month. And I will just put this here. This is the wrong pen. I picked out a yellow one, not this brown one. But I guess we're going with brown now because I can't switch since I already got it started. I hate when that happens. All right, make sure we set that so we know that's the one we're using. It's not so bad though. It kind of ties in a little bit with the pinky. So on the other side of what I do is I put my monthly, my weekly, and then my daily goals down here. And I've already started. Oh, don't. Okay. Whew. I've already started moving them from the back where I have them all laid out for the year in kind of what order I think I want to do them. Scooch this down just a smidge. There we go. There. That's better. All right. And those are all my monthly goals. I don't have a ton of weekly, so instead of dividing it evenly in half, I think I'm actually going to come down more like 2/3 here, like that. Okay. So that I have a little bit more writing room for those goals. And then put some label markers on here. Like that. And put weekly here. And monthly up top. Oh. Probably should put on my daily washi down here. I'm not tracking a bunch of daily habits here because most of the daily things are going into that Scout health tracker that I'm doing, but I will write here to remind myself to fill out that Scout health tracker and the finance tracker as well. So I'll put that there. Okay. Then I have 4 categories that I'm working on. The first is family. And then finances. Home and health. All right, there's 4 weeks in. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 full weeks. This would go more with that next week. So I need to make room for 4 different categories, and I have 2 different weekly ones that I'm working on here. And I put a little checkbox underneath the goal, so I can just check box it off. Fill out YNAB 2 times per week. And then I want to go through photos and let's see, spend 30 minutes on recipes. I'm trying to enter all my recipes into a digital format as well as just having them all printed out from random websites. So I want to spend a little time doing that and then go on a walk with Trevor. And then I want to fill out health tracker, fill out finance tracker, and do some daily devotions. All right. Then I don't put my family ones on here because they're a little bit more private. But one of my financial goals for this month is to have my HOA account or HOA dues already funded. So that means I want in YNAB for the money to be set aside and have it ready to go. I want to do a budget update with Trevor, fill out my let's see, this is May, or June, so May, fill out May stewardship form, pay my May tithing once I've done that. And I'm trying to get our emergency savings built back up. So I want to put $50 a month or a week. So $200 extra in savings at the end of the month because we had to make some major car repairs and it depleted our savings. So trying to get that built back up before we do much else. Then for the home, I want to put up my summer decorations, and then I also need to update our trust because it's been several years and the kids are older. We need to put the house and cars and make sure all that's in there properly. And then I want to do one craft project off my list. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but we'll write it there. And then one household project, which I know I need. Our basement flooded a while back, and so I need to work on that. So I need to spend 3 hours working in basement to start putting all my craft room and everything back together. And then for my health, I have a couple of mental health things on here. I want to have a friend get together, and then I want to have like a driveway party 2 times this month. And then last, it says finish Origins. Origins is a workout program I was going to do, but I'm going to start it again because I cannot do it, get it finished, and do 4 workouts from it. And lastly, I want to divide my weeks so that it is easier to keep track of what I'm doing. So this one is the 8th. Whoops. And then the next Monday is the 15th. And then the 22nd and the 29th. So this will be week 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a little 1, 2, 3, and 4 over there. This is how I do my Rose goal planner. This last planner I am the most excited about. It is the new Luna layout, which is where they have condensed the monthly calendar of the Scout into one page to give you this huge dashboard area. And then you still have your typical short pages like you do in a Scout. This is an academic year calendar that starts in July, but I am way too excited to start using it for July. So I am coming clear back here to June, and I'm redating it. Instead of for June next year, it's going to now be June 2026. The sticker, they don't have a banner sticker set for the Luna in by itself, but they do have, the sizes are the same size as the Scout. So if you get the Scout stickers, then it will work. And we're going to just put this one right there. Okay, got it. There we go. The only thing is the part that labels the days of the week does not fit, since that calendar goes the whole entire length of it. So what I did was I took a little Post-it and I measured it to the width of the days. And then I took some other stickers and I cut them to be just the right size. So they are in pieces instead of being one long strip, but I'm hopeful that this is going to work just perfectly. Or pretty close. Not quite. Let's go right there. Okay. I'm trying to decide if this bothers, how much that bothers me. And if it is going to bother me, whether this fix would bother me more. Let's just take a little peek and see if I just covered up those gaps. Oh yeah, that's not going to bother me. All right, now I'm going to date all of my dates. Okay, got that done. If some of them look a little worse for the wear, it's because I got all the way to the 20th before I remembered that I wasn't just covering up the dates with the colorful stickers. I was supposed to be redating it, and so I had them all wrong. So I had to take all of them off and re-stick them back on, but it did it. So got it going. And now I'm going to just divide this up. Sometimes mistakes happen, especially when you're tired and you're not paying attention. But I'm just too excited to wait for tomorrow. So got to keep on going. Let me see if I can't put this along dividing here. It's long enough. Oh, yes, just perfect. Okay, awesome. I'll have to go and do the rest. I'm not 100% sure how I want to use these pages yet. I'm thinking I'll try using them very similar to how I did my Christie, which was to divide the bottom off. Let's see, actually that'll work just fine, shorter, into two. And do I want to go bright and bold? Let's do it. Let's go bright and bold for the divider lines. And I'll write my meal plan along the bottom. And then the top two lines will be for me and my appointments that I have to do. And then 3 lines for the kids, 1 for each child is how I typically do that. Okay. Let's do the same thing on this side. That looks pretty good. Up here, I'm going to write my monthly to-do list. Okay, the only other things I know for sure that how I want to do a little bit of things are I have been thinking about these 4 boxes here and how I want to use them. And one thing I really would like to work on is my cleaning schedule. I'm terrible at that. And I looked at some different cleaning routines, and I think I ended up liking the Clean Mama. And she has some different things that you do each day. And I made these little stickers, 1 for each week. And so let's see if the sticker sizes came out right. It looks like they did. Okay. She has some different daily tasks that you're supposed to do, and then weekly tasks. And she has you doing them on certain days of the week. I kind of have decided to just do one of the daily tasks one of the days of the week. It doesn't really matter which, so long as I try and get it done. Things like dusting and, what are some of the other ones? Can't remember off the top of my head right now. Washing your sheets, cleaning the bathrooms, that type of thing. Okay, so I made these little trackers, and I got this midliner pen that makes dots. And so I'm going to make the dots that then I can put a check box or check mark in on the days that I've done it. That's pretty bright, but I think it's fun. And I think it really matches that dark pink in the middle of the flowers for this month. Plus, it's the start of summer. We need a little bit of bright happiness. Okay, that looks fun. And then I can use this to fill in as I go along there. Bathroom, vacuum, mop the floors. We have like a wet vac thing that does that. Dust, and then sheets and towels. And each one only has to be done once per week. Since they only have to be done once every week, let's just mark in between the weeks. So if one has a check mark just in that week, we'll know we're doing great. Doesn't have to be done every day. Okay. So that's how I'm going to try and keep track of my cleaning. And in this front section, I think for this month, I wanted to try keeping a little prayer list up here or some thoughts. So let's write this like that. A little bit of a divider here. Let's say that far. In case I want to use some of the rest for something else. I'm not sure what yet. Like I said, this is a new layout for me, so I'm not 100% sure what I will put there. I do know that I want to put my monthly to-do list from my rows that I just filled out. I will put it down along here. And I'm just trying to decide how I want to decorate that. One thing I did know, though, is that it was going to be a little bit tight fitting all of my appointments and my to-do lists in here. And I also like having a space there I can just stick some different things. So I made my own insert. And on this side, it's just dot grid. And this side, I used the tissue paper that my my Small Scout came in to make just a little fun dashboard. And then I lined it up and I have a hole punch that it's actually this one here, that can do a 1/8 hole. And so I just punched the holes. It only took about 5 minutes or less to punch all the holes and cut the little lines in it. And now I have my own little insert dashboard that I can move from month to month. And how I plan on using this is that, silly me, I did not realize that you can print out your Google Calendar agenda, but you can. And so I printed out, this isn't the correct week for this one, but I can print it out and put it in here. So then that way down here, I can just put the bare basics like Zachary baseball game, but up here, then it would have all the details as where it is and the times and things like that. And so that will give me a little bit more space, and I could just tape this in each week with a little bit of washi. I could probably even use the glue tape and then just rub it off, or some repositionable glue. So that's how I'm going to use that. And all right, let's just demonstrate here. I don't know if I'll do the washi or if I would do more like straight lines with it. I'm not sure, but for demonstration purposes, since this isn't even the right calendar, we'll put it here like that. And then this is just the top half, and it can flip, and I can still see my whole month. Oh, see, nope, I'm not gonna be able to do the washi there because that would drive me crazy. Seeing the back parts of it, I'll have to do something else. But then I could use this to put sticky notes on. either just to hold them or as I have notes, or since it's laminated, I could also write on it and then erase it for things that I didn't need to keep track of. But then for my daily use, it would still give me this big dashboard, a zoomed in close up look of my week there, and then all of my to-do lists down here. And I think that that's going to work out really very well. I'm super excited about it. So let me take just a couple of minutes to fill in my meal plan and start working in on my calendar up here. Okay, that's how I have kind of laid out my week, and then I'll go through and I can add all of my to-do lists here. On the weekends, we typically have leftovers or whatever we can have. And then when it comes time, and I'm sure my week is a little bit closer to being set, then I will print out the weekly plan and just tape it in there. And then I will add in all of my to-do list from my Rose planner over here. And then weekly, I'll pull from that list and put on my what I want to do that week. So I am very excited to try out my new Luna planner and see how it goes. Here's a quick little overview of what it ended up looking like once I was finished decorating the dashboard page. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you are interested in trying any of these planners, please click on my affiliate link in the bio and make sure to use the code Allison10 for 10% off. Next time.